Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL online course on logistics and supply chain management. So till now we discussed about logistics part as major focus, right, and so now we will start our discussion on supply chain management. So before going to supply chain management, let us try to explore where are the boundaries lying when we are saying that logistics is a different functional area and supply chain management is different functional area. We will also see how logistics as one functional area of supply chain management is working, right. So in this session we will try to relate somewhere the logistics with supply chain management and differentiate as well, right. So we will see what is supply chain management, what is the role of logistics in that, and how are supply chain management and logistics are the same or different, and then if difference, where are the key different points, right. We will try to find out those, and what are the logistical components in the supply chain, and we will finish this session on a very small case study related to logistics and supply chain management. So this is logistics or supply chain management. Many times people are using, academicians, researchers, they are using interchangeably, right. So old theory says that first the logistics concept came into picture, and then over the time we matured the logistics component, and then we converted it into supply chain management, where we were thinking the whole chain as one functional area, and under that the logistics function is somewhere working, right. So with that concept, many are still thinking that logistics and supply chain management is still the same, right. So you can see the supply chain management in United States is more commonly known as logistics management, right, in Europe if we talk about. So when the small survey was conducted, and the same concept was asked from many experts working in the domain. So as per Venn and Johnson, he said there is no difference today, right. So what we were doing as logistics management earlier, today we are doing as supply chain management. So another study says that supply chain management incorporates the field of logistics, right, and logistics is a number of sub processes within supply chain management. So in complete supply chain management there are so many small logistics management practices. So let us talk about if transportation from supplier to manufacturing is happening, that is one functional area under transportation, and same transportation related to outbound logistics from the manufacturer to the customer, then again another sub process of under same area, that is transportation. So there is another statement, a supply chain management company is generally a third party operator managing the overall movement of the product, whether inbound or outbound, right. So inbound outbound means if these are the raw material suppliers, so from where the raw material is following to the manufacturer, and from manufacturer the finished good is going to customer. This is the simple supply chain structure we discussed many times. Now for this manufacturer, inbound logistics is this one, and outbound logistics is this one, from the manufacturer to the customer, right. So this logistics part is taking care if transportation is happening here from the raw material supplier to manufacturer, or storage is happening here from in between a raw material supplier and manufacturer, then this is counted as inbound logistics. even if packaging of that raw material is happening here, so that is also coming under inbound logistics. Same functions if we are doing somewhere down the supply chain distribution network, we'll call those functions at outbound logistics component, right. So, very simple to understand. So, there are some again different viewpoint. Traditional they say that logistics is a broader picture, and in under that supply chain management is small picture, but that is very old school of thought. When we were first we identified that logistics, yes, is a separate functional unit, requires special attention. Somewhere in 1980s we realized that this is something cannot be ignored, just to ensure the continuous supply of the raw material or the finished goods or transportation of the product from one end to other end. In that simple line we can understand. So, in that way logistics is very, very important and should be given special focus. If we are not competent enough to improve our logistics performance, let us outsource to some of the stakeholders who are perfect in that, right. So, same way under that then supply chain management concept started. If we are doing something with the product renovation, then is part of under logistics. We are maybe in one functional unit as a raw material supplier or sub assembly manufacturer or co-manufacturer or manufacturer. So, that is part of logistics. Within your manufacturing facility, if you are handling the material, that is also coming under logistics, material handling, right. So, that was the old view, but then it was termed as there is no such separate term. We should replace completely logistics with the supply chain management, which is we are doing right now. It's a complete set of activities. So, there is no such different concept of logistics. Logistics being sub part of supply chain management, where most of the people who are working in this area, they are thinking that this is a small part of supply chain management. And obviously under logistics, if you see, there are people who are saying that logistics is separate, supply chain management is separate functional unit, but yes, there are some common points on which they are working. Like common point may be the performance, productivity, efficiency of delivering your finished goods from the source to the customer. This is the common basic objective if we will find out the intersectional area between logistics and supply chain. But if I am talking about only logistics, this is physical transportation of the product from one point to other point, warehousing of the product, storage of the product. Sometime we are saying the information, we are transferring information in the channel, that is also part of logistics. If you are doing some value adding activities in the warehousing like packaging, like kitting, all those services, labeling, so then it is part of your logistics management, right. But if we will talk about supply chain management, this all part is coming obviously under supply chain management if we are considering logistics as part of supply chain management. But what are the different activities here? Let us say R&D, research and development. If you are coming up with the new products, from where you will get the information that you are now going for the next product? From your information channel, you are getting the information through your logistics network, right. And then you are feeling this, realizing the need of coming up with the new features in your product, in your services, because your competitors are doing those things, or maybe there are expectations from the customer. Then we are talking about the manufacturing. Then it is a part of supply chain. We are not considering here the manufacturing. If we are considering manufacturing, basically we are dealing with some of the basic questions. What is to be manufactured? How much is to be manufactured? Where is to be manufactured? And when we are going to manufacture? These are some of the basic questions under manufacturing we will deal with, right. If we are fixed with this product or industry we are going with, we will find out the suppliers, we will develop the relationships, all those stakeholders will try to find out, right. how much depending upon the how much order we are anticipating from the market, again with the help of the arm of logistics, right? And then when and where, right? So if you are having multiple models of the same product, how much model A is required, B is required, C is required, that you will find out depending upon your forecasting model, right? So this is how we can see there are some functional units we are discussing, especially in supply chain management. And obviously the return supply chains are also part of these two now, if we are focusing on that part, right? Returns coming from the market. So you can see here what are the different functional areas related to logistics and supply chain management. So over the time, now many people are realizing that this definition, the boundaries are blurred now. There is no such you can say difference between your logistics and supply chain management. But yes, if you talk about supply chain management, like I told you, product innovation and development is one part, purchasing and sourcing. So we were talking about the shifting of raw material from the suppliers to the manufacturer, but how you will decide that this much quantity we are going to purchase from vendor A, B, C, right? So that allocation of order will come under supply chain management. And how you will decide that this much order, 60% order will go to your vendor A, right? So obviously you must be doing some vendor rating with respect to that vendor, and depending upon the maybe the quality of the raw material he is providing, the pricing he is giving you, maybe the delivery schedules he is giving you, or you are so comfortable with all those parameters, right? So then you decided to go with vendor A with the highest order. Sourcing. So what are the part you are going to outsource? So that is also coming under your supply chain management. Then obviously manufacturing and operations, where the assemblies are happening, you are sourcing different sub assemblies, different raw material components, and then on that production line you are assembling all the parts, and in the end packaging is being done, and then we need the logistics and distribution services again. So it is not that here only logistics is required, in the raw material supply also logistics services are required. And then customer service, if you are delivering at doorstep, if installation of that product is required, if demonstration of that product is required, or maybe under warranty, guarantee, if any replacements are coming back, so those also you will take care. And then global deployment, we talked about the international market. So if you are working globally, your products, either you are sending the outbound logistics to a global market, or you are ensuring your inbound logistics from the global market, both way, then you have to go for global deployment of your supply chain management, right? So then we can again say that this by Michigan State University, supply chain logistics involves collaboration between firms, suppliers, customers and other partners as a means of boosting efficiency, right, and providing the value to the customer. So this whole set of activities, the only purpose is we should deliver the quality products with the maximum value possible and with the highest efficiency, so that we can minimize the cost of operation, delivering the product, manufacturing the product. And if we can do so, we will be more competent with respect to our competitors, because then we will be having extra margin. Maybe that margin we can share with the customers as some offers, or maybe we can keep that margin with us for further expansion, right? So all stakeholders are part of that, because in supply chain management, this is kind of system concept, system view concept, where we are saying that if from the raw material to the end customer, how you are reaching with your product, right? If there is of profit of maybe $10, right? So this $10 will be shared with the suppliers as well, manufacturer as well, wholesaler, retailer, distributor, with all the stakeholder. This profit of $10 will be shared, right? So this is a system view of supply chain management. If loss will be shared through all the supply chain. So I cannot say as a manufacturer that I am cost efficient. I am claiming in the market that I am cost efficient with minimum if I am talking about maybe Go Avivo or maybe your Ixigo, so they are claiming that cheapest flight you will get or hotels you will get, right. So if I am saying that, I have to ensure through all the stakeholders that you should get the cheapest rate on the Go Avivo or Make My Trip or Ixigo, right. So then in that case, the hotel services providers, they should also somewhere compromise with that. If you are saying that you are not cost efficient, you are very responsive, right, kind of player. If you will ask for gym in the hotel, will provide you. If you ask for swimming pool in the hotel, will provide you. If you ask for dining in the room, will provide all the services. Whatever extra services you need, if you want those services, we are going to provide you, as this is the promise coming, right. Or if you are cancelling your hotel in the last hour as well, so even then the refund will be done. But then this promise as Make My Trip or Go Avivo, if you are making, that is only possible if your suppliers are ready to do that. If the hotel, the property owner person, he is also ready for that. So then that means the complete integration of all the stakeholders required. So we have seen what is logistics, and we defined that this is the physical flow of products and services one point to other point, maybe from the point of origin to the point of consumption, or maybe from the consumption to origin back if we are talking about the reverse supply chain, right. And related information also sometimes, because this information is required to manage the inventory, to figure out the demand, right. So that demand can be met with the supply, right. So this is under logistics we talked about, majorly we talked about three functional area. One is transportation, another one is warehousing, packaging, and one more thing is distribution, final distribution, right. So these are some of the parts we discussed under logistics. Now logistics includes demand planning, inventory management, transportation, fleet management, material handling, and customer order fulfillment. So let us understand this in two different concepts. One is inbound logistics, other one is outbound logistics. Already I talked about whatever, as a manufacturer, if I am sitting here, whatever it takes to deliver the product to the end customer, it is outbound logistics. And to shift that raw material from the raw material suppliers, it is known as inbound logistics. So the only thing is, when we are talking about inbound logistics, we are talking about the transportation of the raw material, we are talking about storage of the raw material, and we are talking about final distribution of that raw material to the production lines. And production lines are not only at one place, maybe we have 5 different manufacturing facilities in India, so that those 5 different manufacturing facilities will be fed using all those suppliers. And in the same manufacturing facility, if we have multiple production lines, so that raw material, same component will be fed to all the production lines. If the same material is required or same dimensions are required, if is there any change with the dimension, so as per the requirement of the design of that product, so we will supply the inbound logistics. So this is the concept. Outbound logistics, all these 3 different functional areas: transportation, distribution, storage in between. So that is outbound logistics. Here one very beautiful concept I will try to highlight here. Let's say I am the manufacturer or the supplier of the product, right, and I am following 2 different structure. One is the customer is sitting here and raw material supplier is here. This is let us say 10 kilometer distance, this is 5 kilometer distance. The other part is same manufacturer here, this is 5 kilometer now, and this one is 10 kilometer to the customer, right. Now if I will ask you which one is more efficient, so you can see here is inbound logistics distance is higher than outbound logistics distance, right? In this case, inbound logistics distance is lesser than outbound logistics distance. Now you might have seen, if we are ordering through Amazon or Flipkart or anything, especially talking about heavy item, let's say furniture. So what they are doing, they are preparing the whole furniture and then dismantling that furniture, and again at the location either they are arranging again the assembly of that furniture, or maybe they are giving easy instructions so that at your end you can easily install. Now if you are following this kind of structure where outbound logistics is traveling less distance to compared to your inbound logistics, this is more cost efficient, which you can understand, because if I am maybe transporting 10 cars through this container, maybe one container taking 8 or 10 cars, right? But in this case, if I'll talk about 10 containers, they can carry maybe more than 200 cars raw material, because that is dismantled. So that means once it is dismantled, not the final product with the packaging, it will take less space, right? So in lesser capacity, I can transport maximum material. So we try to follow this kind of network where the outbound logistic distance is lesser, because that will give you cost efficient network, because outbound logistics require more space. So this is costly, right? So we try to set up our manufacturing factories near to the customer location or market, so that in the end the final product will reach with the minimum distance, should travel minimum distance, right? So what are the objectives? We talked about right time, right place, right quality, right price, and right product and right customer, right? So these are the objectives. So when we are delivering the final product, and then you can say in the end we need to maintain the supply demand equilibrium with our logistics activities. However, supply chain and logistics are the same. Already I talked about in the intersectional part, both are focusing on goods, services and information, how it is flowing through the network. The ultimate aim is, which obviously the company success will be related only when our customers are more satisfied. There is positive correlation, obviously customers are loyal, customers are more satisfied, will be more loyal customers, and then in the end your success of the company in that way will be higher. And obviously the purpose here is the efficient and effective delivery of the product through our logistics distribution network, right? And same is the objective of your supply chain management as well. So let's talk about some of the key differences between logistics and supply chain management. So this complete is a model which is giving you, if you will take care of all the sub activities in that model, will drive the competitive advantage. And it is a relatively new term which has again coming from the logistics only, right? So and will provide you the competitive advantage. And if we will talk about what are the different activities: production, inventory, labor planning, material, facility management, manufacturing, delivery of goods and services, right? So in logistics, we were not talking about how you are converting the raw material into finished one, that is part of this. Facility management, where you need to locate the facilities, where are you are going to locate your manufacturing facility, your warehouses. These are the kind of decisions we will discuss in supply chain management, which are very, very important part. How you should design your logistics, outbound logistics, inbound logistics. Just one example I highlighted in the last slide, right? So that is very much part of your supply chain. We never talked about the labor planning, how we'll do that. This is part of this, right? Materials, how designing of the product design is the first step, will give you the idea how you will work with the supply chain. Then not only product design, what is going to be the process design. So that will also give you idea what are the components required, and if once components are finalized, what type of manufacturing assemblies are required, production lines, how you will design your show floor. That all part is under supply chain management. And we in logistics, we have focused only on the physical distribution, transportation, right? We talked about, so that is a little old concept. Again, supply chain management controls the development of raw material into finished one, and then finally that finished goods are how those goods are transferred to the final end customer, and if any returns are there, how we can do that as well. So Keith Olivier is one logistician who also coined the term of supply chain management. So in his findings, he has explained how this logistic concept is matured now, and we need to add some more functional area into that, right? So then we can just go through cost and efficient deliveries, and this obviously we talked about when we talked about the history of logistics. We talked about how it has come from the military operations, where after World War II we realized that, so in a better way, if we'll take care of our logistics functions, so we will be more productive and on time. While logistics are important to supply chain, in supply chain what differently we are talking about? We are talking about coming up with new products. From where you will get the idea of coming up with the new product? Obviously your logistic partner will give you information, that distribution network, right? And then you need to be you need to deliver right products at the right time. How you can do that? Through your logistic network only, when you are ensuring the smooth supply of the raw material, and then you can ensure the final delivery on time, right? Reducing cost and improving efficiency, this will happen only when you are implementing lean logistics, right? Where you are removing all the non-value adding activities, and if you are minimizing those, you can increase the customer loyalty, because you will be most of the time on time, right? Unique value proposition, how you are coming with the new ideas, and how you are providing a means to deliver goods in a cost effective locations, right? And in production also, if we are talking about, we should set up our facilities where we are more cost effective. What are the logistics components of the supply chain? So information is one thing which I talked about. We are collecting through your logistics distribution network. What is the status of the items, whether it is shipped, it is in the warehouse, what is the inventory status, so that all will record here, right? So then storage is part of your logistics, which is very important for supply chain to ensure the smooth supply chain operations. If you are maintaining that storage, only then you can say that you are never stock out and you are maintaining that minimum level to meet the requirement. So warehousing is again, you can add some key value adding activities in warehousing. Other than picking, packing and handling the product, you can sometimes, if you are receiving the returns also, how you can ensure the resale of the same product, right? So, and then again kitting and leveling kind of value adding activities you can do in the warehousing. Material handling, usually we use this term to handle the material within one facility. If manufacturing facility is here, we are converting raw material into finished one. So how we are moving the material from store department to production department, then production department is moving the material on the production line. Finally, it is shipped to the outgoing quality control. They are checking, and then it is moved to dispatch area from where maybe the loading will be done. So this is in that manufacturing unit, this is how handling is being done. Packaging, again, you need to ensure the minimum space should be utilized, and cost you can minimize in that way, but you need not to damage in that way. If you are minimizing the packaging, but that should not go in that way that you are damaging the final product. How efficiently you are utilizing the transportation routes, the vehicles, the warehousing capacity, the distribution and mile delivery, how you can be in that way efficient and utilizing the resources fully. Inventory control, when we have planned our demand with respect to the supply, right? So then we can control the inventory, whether you are talking about raw material inventory, finished one or semi-finished one. So transportation is again part of your supply chain management, which will ensure the final product movement or maybe the raw material movement as well. And then you have, as transportation manager, you have to take the decision related to your intermodal transportation network, because then that cost component will come into picture. So role of logistics within supply chain, if we are talking about planning, how logistics will play a role, we need to plan information, that information will be provided by the logistics network. And then inventory controlling, how we'll maintain, how much inventory will maintain. If we are talking about sourcing, then information, material handling and transportation are the major part against the sourcing. In manufacturing, within manufacturing also you are storing, you are handling the material, you are shipping the material from one stage to other stage, warehousing, utilization, right, packaging, transportation, those all things you are doing under logistics. Delivering, again this information is required, warehousing, inventory, packaging, transportation, all these things are required which are part of your logistics for delivering the product. And returning, again all those functions whatever you are doing as part of logistics to ship the product from the raw material supplier to end customer. So same you will be doing for maybe getting the after the end of use of that product, or maybe after damaging that product, or maybe recycling, or you are going for refurbishment of that product, then logistics component will come into picture. So this is one small case study of Geodis. So that is a logistics service provider, and they addressed some of the challenges where small online retailers they were facing, right? And when we are talking about small online retailers, so first thing is they are not sure about the demand, right? Sometime it is coming, sometime it is not coming. So then setting up complete different channel separately is a big question for those small players. And then seasonal fluctuations, you need to maybe sometime increase the volume, sometime you need to reduce the supply. So how as one player you can survive during those challenges. So this Geodis will help you to survive those things, and will help you to maintain the accurate inventory levels, and will ensure that you will be not stock out, and also you are not keeping the excess inventories, right? And will ensure that next day delivery or 2-day delivery can happen. So they are providing the fast and reliable fulfillment, and their, if we talk about their fulfillment accuracy, I think that is somewhere 91%, you can see. So many small players are collaborating with them. They are helping them to demand forecast, planning, and in that way when you are having the exact information, and they are providing those multiple solutions, right? And if you are having exact information related to forecasting, so you can obviously plan your inventory when you need to scale up, right? When you need to scale down your warehouses, as per that only you can manage. But because this is the player who is having multiple clients, so they can easily maintain. If today you are reducing your order maybe from some other player, they can utilize the unutilized capacity. So finally, through optimized shipping practices, they will also give you that solution. During your transportation, they will pick those routes, they will design the capacity of the container as per your design of the packaging, final packaging of the product, so that it should take the minimum cost, and also the delivery times, those delivery times can be ensured which you are always promising with your customers. Then this small outsource facility and transport into multi-country network, where throughout world many small players are attached with them, and because the 91% fulfillment rate, so with the European customers, so you can say that how reliable and cost efficient it is with this, right? So these kind of players are also there now who can handle, if you are very small a retail shop, how you can attach with those big players. And same is the case of if you are having one taxi only, one car, right, and you want to operate as taxi, right, as that you want to use as taxi. So if you will individually operate in the market, so obviously those many orders may not come, rides may not come, right? So in that way, if you are connecting yourself with the Ola or Uber, so then the utilization rate will be higher, right? So same is the case with this also. So here we can conclude that logistics is very much part of supply chain management, and your smooth supply chain operation can be ensured only when the three basic functions under logistics are doing perfectly fine. First is the transportation is happening on time. Second thing is the storage, whenever it is required, you are maintaining that safety stock, so that you are never saying your customer no that we are out of stock, right? And finally, the distribution of the product, how it is happening to the end customer, with that how you are improving the experience of the customer, right? But yes, because with now is the era where so many different solutions we are talking about, so many different platforms we are talking about, different softwares for managing your distribution, to manage your sourcing, to manage your manufacturing, to manage your inventory, to manage your warehousing, transportation. Different softwares are there, right? But then we need to integrate all those into one platform. How beautifully we can do that, so that the overall customer experience can be enhanced and we can deliver the product or services in more cost effective and efficient way. So that's all when we can talk about this logistics and supply chain management. So these are some references and books. So Simchi Levy is one very good, you can refer for further readings, and then the Wei and Chen, fundamental of supply chain management. Sunil Chopra and Peter Mendel is again on supply chain management strategy, planning and operation. So these are some of the references you can go through. So thank you very much.